senior directors of the Federal Ministry of Defense remain in captivity after their abduction on the Kabba Lokoja highway in Kogi State. Their captors have reportedly demanded 150 million naira for their release. The officials were traveling from Lagos to Abuja on 10 November for a promotion examination when armed men ambushed their convoy. The attack was described as a coordinated assault that forced the vehicles to a halt before the victims were seized. A relative of one of the abducted directors said the families are distressed by the ransom demand, noting that they cannot raise such a large sum. The families appealed for the safe return of their loved ones. The Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria condemned the abduction and assured staff that efforts are on the way to secure the victims' release. The union said it is monitoring developments closely. The kidnapped officials were identified as 6 senior staff of Command Day Secondary School in Ojo, Lagos. The Ministry of Defense is said to have activated a coordinated response engaging security agencies and other stakeholders to expedite rescue operations. Mr. Kola, for a while, we've been delving into conversations as regards kidnapping in Nigeria. If you remember clearly, I think as about last week, there was this conflicting report where the family was released. I think a family of 6, they were released, and the police did come out to say, oh, we were the ones that went there to save them, and the families came to debunk that report to say, oh, we paid about 6 million naira to get out. What are your thoughts on the security architecture of Nigeria at this time?
Yeah, the security state of our country now is nothing to write about. Given that, well, it's been more than 2-3 years now.
All right.
I think it's 2 years since this kidnapping trend has started, and it's on high rise. And it's shocking to see that our leaders and those at the top echelon of security are not treating this as an issue of urgency, right? And now, when a fire is burning somewhere and you're on the other side of the road and you tell yourself, oh, I'm safe, you might be surprised that the fire can go and get to you. Now imagine the defense directors being the ones that are kidnapped in this state. It's just a sad thing. It just tells you that our security, the heads of our security are talking about the Ministry of Defense, the police, the IG, that it seems like they have lost control of protecting its citizens, which is us, and which definitely spans to them as well. Sometimes when these things happen to ordinary people, it almost feels as if, some people might some might even go ahead to say it's a propaganda, or some are trying to, play politics with you, they're trying to undermine
government efforts, right?
To make it look like, it's not doing a good job, but that's not the case. I'm from Kogi State, and I've heard many negative reports as regarding kidnapping, even some that have not gotten to the public light. Friends of friends of friends telling me that, my mom told me, I think some weeks ago, that my, just not someone I know directly. You know how the communities work now in the village and all of that. My grandma reached out to her saying someone from their church, the youth was kidnapped, they're asking for 20 million. Some months back, something similar, they're asking for 16 million. These things are happening in Kogi State, and nobody's saying anything. Now, if you look at the geographical structure of Nigeria, Kogi State is more like, the main central, which means, if you're traveling by road, you have to pass there, especially if you want to, cross over to the south, or you're coming from the south and you want to go, to the north. And businesses move along this road, people travel along this road for different reasons. So I don't know why our leaders, the security heads, do not take this thing as seriously as they should. I don't even feel there's a matter of urgency when it comes to this thing. Some weeks ago, just to show you that if effort is being put in and everybody puts in enough ample of effort, there would be positive results. I think there is this guy that has been trending, it that has the foundations. Sometimes it helps people out, to pay ransoms or secure them from the kidnappers then. And in some cases, he goes on this mission with a few armed police officers or military personnel. And at the end of the day, in most cases, they end up either trying to save the people or at least chase out. I think some weeks ago they recovered some like cash of some sum of money in the forest.
Right.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is that is just a drop of effort, compared to effort that could be made if our security heads are taking this thing more seriously. It's not about having lots of meetings or whatnot. I've said it on the show many times. We have lots of unchecked spaces, lots of ungoverned spaces in Nigeria. There are places where there's no government presence, there's no police presence, no military presence, and we still don't take this thing seriously. In other advanced parts of the world, you see that the military, paramilitary bodies are well covered and broad. What do I mean? I'm talking about you have the army, you have the marine, you have the police force, you have the mobile police, you have the even in smaller communities that are like on the countryside, they have sheriffs and they have their own systems. This is just to make sure that even if you are in a very secluded area, there's some sort of police presence, which extends or inevitably means there's some sort of government presence. But here you find out that sometimes some people will tell you the Sambisa forest has just been there for a long time, no police presence, no government presence. And to date, it's still like that. Some might tell you, oh, we have a low number of police personnel and military personnel or whatnot. What are we doing to even make to make improvements? I think some weeks ago, I'm not sure if it was a government official or a military official that was saying people should apply to the army and to the police, and youth of the day are not really interested in that. That's a discussion for another day. But the way this army officials and police officials are treated are not even good enough.
Right.
So if the youth of the day are even interested in becoming military or paramilitary officials, because at the end of the day, it just feels like they are not well catered for. So the security system in itself is not the foundation is not good. Basically, that's why we see that both at the top echelon and at the personnel level, it's almost as if nobody is doing anything about it. Sadly, and okay, for defense directors to be kidnapped, just goes to show you that there's lots.
Right. Because I wanted to ask you, okay, if this can happen to the defense director, what is the hope for the common man? But before we, go through that angle, you talked about ungoverned spaces, right? And everybody knows that before you get to somewhere like Abuja, as for Kogi and that route around Kogi, there has been several layers of kidnap around that place being reported. Many people have been able to come out. Some people were able, to get to safety in the way that they were able to be released by kidnappers. Why do you think this particular hotbed isn't being prioritized at this time?
You see, the interesting thing is you and I can sit down and analyze from today, tomorrow. Sometimes it even seems like this is a problem, and the solution is literally straightforward, right? I understand that sometimes theoretically things can be easily analyzed and solutions can be theoretically stated,
right?
But I mean, every practical begins with theory, right? So
absolutely,
it just feels like our security heads are not really doing their best, if you ask me. Let's put Lagos for example. I'm sure that now it's a bit better. Years ago, the Third Mainland Bridge, I think till now, if you spend, for example, if your car gets back on the bridge,
right,
late at night, people will tell you to literally leave your car where it is and just find a way off the bridge. And I always ask people that why does it have to be that way in this age and era? I mean, of course, there have been stories in the past, sometimes it could be robbed on that bridge, even there was a few years back in the years, I don't know about now, like ritualists even go there, in the night, people that are stranded are being robbed, some are killed, their body parts are taken and all of that. The way I'm getting to with this story or with this explanation is that at that point I was like, there's literally a simple solution to this thing. Why not have um, a 247 patrol system on that bridge? That's just an example. So that was the solution I thought of. Until now, I don't think our military officials have thought of that. I mean, I don't see why such a solution would not be practicalized on such an issue. So bring it down to our insecurity system. What's going on? Rather, our security system. What's going on? What are the solutions? What are they even putting in place to make a difference? Security speaking, people are being kidnapped on daily basis, right? I'm sure if you go through news reports from the start of this week to now, you'll find at least 5 different kidnap cases.
Absolutely.
So it's not getting better.
Right.
How much do we want to keep paying?
Right.
Most times you find out that some people will just let's just look for the money and save lives. I understand that lives need to be saved and all of that. But what are we even doing to prevent these things? They're saying back then prevention is better than cure. But in this part of the world, we are not big on prevention, right? What are they doing to ensure that kidnappers are not on the high rise? What is wrong with our patrol system? It's not just about checkpoints now.
Right.
I mean, there are situations where people are kidnapped on the way in between checkpoints, right? So that's a problem. That's a loophole. What is the solution that has been? These are professionals. What is the solution that they have thought about? We can't just keep living and putting our lives. I mean, we definitely put our lives in the hands of God, but we have to play our part as well.
Absolutely.
To keep ourselves secure, not just. I always say that on the show, we just live as if we are just living by chance. And for Nigerians, it might not happen to me today, but it could happen to someone else. It could happen to me next day, God forbid. It could happen to anybody close to you. So if you don't keep talking about these things all the time, we found out that these things keep happening. Sadly, I hope they are being rescued, but I hope it also opens the eyes of the Ministry of Defense, the military, paramilitary, and hopefully the president of Nigeria to focus on things like this and
absolutely
not to digress too much and not focus too much on the old tax saga that is going on. What's taxable, one, a discussion for another time.
Absolutely. Now, before we move on to our next report, you know that we are currently in the festive, very close to the festive period where, the way the structure and the household activities of Nigerians have been over the years, where whenever it's festivities, people haven't seen their families for about a year. Many people usually want to spend, Christmas, the New Year with their loved ones, and there's usually an influx of travelers. Now, if government officials with a convoy can be kidnapped, what is the hope for the common man?
Actually, there's literally no hope, which is hell. Which is why earlier I said we just put our lives rather in the hands of God. And Nigerians are very resilient and strong people, if I may say so. As we speak now, people are traveling. Some could be kidnapped today. Next day, people will still travel because, I mean, some might say, oh, I have to use flight. Or why don't you use flight? How much is the flight ticket now? And people have to go about their businesses. When the festive season comes, people are still doing the travel, which means we just put our lives in the hands of God. This shouldn't be. And our leaders should do something about these things. It's not magic. It's not solved over time. Just prayers and wishful thinking will not solve things like this. We need actual action. Actual new policies, new engagement policies for military personnel, new systems new way of thinking for our police officers. We need more police officers on hand. So, it starts from the foundation, basically, which is why I went the long mile explaining even the security as an organization, the police force, the military force.
Right.
We don't even have people are applying any longer to these organizations. Now, a society cannot exist without security. So what is the government doing to make these roles honorable? It's not even just about the financial, the financial part. Many police retired policemen or retired army men have distasteful things to say when they retire. Things like their pensions are not being paid. Some police officer wives will go ahead to tell you their husbands went KIA in action and nothing has been done. So people don't even want to involve themselves in jobs like that anymore.
Sadly so.
Being a soldier, being a police officer is supposed to be honorable. So they have to go the long mile. The foundation. We need more hands because we are over 250 million now. I'm sure by the time the next census is carried out, we'll probably be crossing 300. We need more police officers. We need more army officers. We can cover, properly secure the society, and as well as more inclusion of.
But then, Mr. Kola, you have talked about human capacity building. You're talking about bringing in more hands to safeguard us. I mean, we're supposed to move on from this story after that question, but you said something. Do you think now we are the world is moving fully into technology and several tracking devices? I do remember that the person you were talking about previously, Harrison Guashimo, has been able to single-handedly with a few support from his non-profit and police officers and other enforcement agents and some military security personalities have gone into these bushes to actively retrieve funds. And according to him, because I am an active follower of his on social media, he has stated that they use several layers of technology and technical know-how to try to track and grab these people. Instead of implementing and getting more hands to do the work, more hands to stand on this, at these areas of the road, why do you think we are not leaning a little bit more towards technology as an avenue to win the fight?
Yeah, I was going to get to that earlier. As much as we need technology, I feel like I can't remember the exact figure, but the ratio of policemen to civilians is very poor. So we need more hands, at least slightly more, and then we need to incorporate tech and tech systems and advancements into our security system.
Right.
Like I said earlier, the foundation is already not so good, so the foundation needs to be worked on.
Absolutely.
And then security, technology, AI, and others should also be included.
Right.
So there are these things would help. The hands that will be, the more hands that I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Right? Instead of running around the whole Sambisa to for example, right, to find someone probably that was kidnapped. There are drones, there are other systems that could be in place. The NIN database could be properly worked on. Absolutely. So that when someone is in a problem, just giving vague ideas.
Of course.
In developed society, these are things that people discuss about. The security organization should have a team, a tech team that is, working on systems that would work for our geography and our society.
Right.
Like I always say on the show, we got most of our, democracy, our societal justice system and all that from the West. But we fail to properly incorporate these things to suit our geography, our diversity properly.
Right.
So when all these things are being discussed and thought about critically, solutions will come up, and then when these solutions come up, we act on them, not just discussing and then leaving these things, just like that.